but all my everything visually is frozen. I can't do anything. All the keyboard commands don't work, so I have to hard turn it off. It's a weird crash. Like I could just stay in the call and listen to you guys talk forever. So it's not like the computer's totally down. Anyways, we're back live. Welcome back again. This time, XSplit crashed. I'm having a fun tech night. I'm Gats. We're doing Bane of the Ancients D&D. This is Season 7, Session 13, Part 3.
Oh, yeah.
I think I paused us almost immediately after the crash. So, let us resume. Sorry for the interruption, everyone. What were we just talking about? I have forgotten. Unfortunately,
I was asking Belenos where he was from.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I was being evasive.
He's from the monastery.
What? You squirrely boy.
Hey, but where is the monastery?
Same place it's always been.
Which is?
Right there.
Where's there?
Out of game, I don't actually know where it is, like in relation to where we are right now.
You would know the terrain, but that's most likely it. So, it's high, it's mountainous. There's some of the things you've probably seen at night up high. I don't know if you want me to describe any of that or not at this time. It's up to you, Belenos.
That's fine. It's high up in the mountains where we can see the stars clearly.
North or south?
Yes.
When you looked out, did you see the ocean to the south?
Did we?
If you looked far enough on a clear day, you would see some kind of sea.
We might have. You don't know. Oh.
All right. Well, that's enough of getting to know you for the day, I guess.
Elves aren't always keen on sharing.
Well, it's a bit of a sore subject at the moment.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Sorry.
It's all right. I know you didn't mean anything by it.
What about you two, Dobra and Sika? Have you always been in the area?
Along the trails. Sometimes spend some time down near the capital. But the Bound Mound is our home. We have traveled up one time with our uncle protecting us with some armed forces. We actually got to visit, what was it, Skepta? Those humans who put some dwarves to shame.
Ooh.
Never heard of it.
It's the North folk, seafarers, raiders, warriors. Like we mentioned, sometimes Noldris goes out with them on their raids.
I imagine that could be a hard life. Sturdy folk.
Now, this might not just me be being ignorant. What's Noldris? Would I know Noldris?
Noldris is the biggest and oldest bronze dragon in these lands, who lives on the biggest mountain at the far northeastern tip of the Bound Mound, overlooking the ocean and all the nearby kingdoms. She flies so high she can see almost the entire world.
I thought Noldris was a city, but that makes more sense.
She can dive so deep, nothing's safe from her grasp. There's all sorts of legends of her exploits.
I don't know much about dragons, never really taken an interest in learning their history, but that sounds interesting enough. Maybe I should.
So, you were saying there were some of the smaller ones around. You mentioned they get involved in conflicts or wars or whatever sparking their interests. Anything catching their interest now?
I'm not going to speak saying I know the mind of these dragons, but there's the constant spats with the other dragons, usually very violent, deadly spats. They're always out there killing slavers. They don't like slavery very much, though they make some exceptions if the slaves were taken honorably. Legally.
Like prisoners of war?
Yes.
Prisoners
of war are always added to the exception.
Now,
legally bred slaves from the Colosseums, sure. But the type of slavery they're trying to stop are the snatch and grab type.
Oh, like the kind where you're just walking through the woods and they put you in a darn gun cage?
the violent ones with other dragons. Any particular type behind those, or are they often in these neck of the woods?
I suspect that's why they're constantly patrolling. He's guarding the territory, as it were.
Catch them where they catch them.
Yep. But they're sneaky, the slavers, and even the worms who are out supporting them.
See. And you mentioned heroes among the bronze dragons. Dragon riders, if you will. How does one throw in with that lot? Just chance? I assume they don't have somewhere you can sign up.
I mean, if you fight alongside a dragon in a war and impress him, that's definitely how most of the tales go. Yeah, I don't know about signing up to fight alongside dragons. Maybe you just go up to the top of the piece and ask Nodrus herself. And just start cackling. But really, yes, it's mostly chance. Mostly fate, as it were.
Well, that's good to be knowing. I can imagine most folks wouldn't want fate to be bringing a dragon to their doorstep. So fate really must be the one.
Anyways, so are you folk from around here then? Or are you not familiar with the Bound Mound?
I've never been myself, but I know it's, Hildorf customs and such.
Thankfully. Nearly lost the place 3,000 years ago, according to the annals, but we're recovering strongly. Even rivaling our northern brothers. Strong enough to keep them humans off of us, that's for sure.
We keep hearing about some sort of cataclysm that occurred 3,000 years ago.
Just dour looks. Damn
witches.
Kazdakar. Just
yeah.
rude dour look now.
Remember the Alamo?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It was a terrible time that I guess we should be blessed to not have to have lived through. Apparently our people were completely lost for hundreds of years. Even missed another war to the east outside of their bowl. Just wandering around the Bound Mound trying to rebuild, find somewhere more stable. And most of us settled on the southern side. But the whole mound's ours, don't you doubt that. You have to go all the way up to the gap between the ranges before you find any humans who decided it was worth staying.
What is your take on the lost city of Kazdakar? Do you think it will be found in your lifetime?
Certainly hope so, at least by us.
Of course it will be.
Like a little nod, That's what that Obsidian group is obsessed with. But, I mean, so many others are. There's been prospectors and tales of people who supposedly found it, but usually they just wind up in some other plane or in the Underdark and die. But, if we could reclaim our lost hull, maybe rebuild it, at least have some closure, maybe even revenge, it would do good for our people. But yes, usually it's just someone stumbling into another gap. Well, do you want me to just kind of go through some of the rumors around here?
Oh yes, please.
Okay, well, some big news for our town. A new cave was found to explore. We set the spelunking team. I don't know if you're all cave explorers, but down southeast of here, there's a new cave yet to be scoped out. Could even be the entrance to Kazdakar, although I think that's probably impossible since we're on the wrong side of the range. But who knows? Maybe there's some magic gate. You can always hope.
likely wasn't Sober running the team.
Oh,
He,
yeah. Well, it was Soba's men who sent word, and then we sent our spelunking crew down there. Soba's more of a hunter, but yeah. He definitely sent the word. I guess there was maybe someone trapped inside at first, and then that got resolved, and stress gone. So...
Wait, is that the cave we found?
They're talking about the cave we came out of.
You were the ones
Ah.
trapped in the cave, maybe, but they got...
We weren't trapped.
That is an interesting interpretation of events.
No,
It was
that was...
high-stakes spelunking.
That was the word we got at first, and then it was clarified. This makes sense. So you all helped find the cave. Soba found you guys. Okay.
And did
Yeah,
they...
Soba gave us directions to Nova.
the map
And then
that
we
I
went
passed-
on a boar hunt.
He's a
and
good
we
man.
Found? Yeah, he seems like it.
the map that I passed off that detailed the cave and some of the threats in there. Did that make it to your Splunkin team?
I'm sure
You
it
know,
did. As
there was
long as it
some-
was with Soba's crew, I'm sure it made it where it was going.
Some mean nasties in that cave. You folk can handle yourselves.
Yep.
You ever wonder if the entrance to Kaznakan is actually like a secret door hidden off by a riddle that you can only open at a certain time in a certain part of the year?
It's Kazdakar.
I'm sure it's something like that. But I'm sure also such an entrance probably was destroyed. Apparently,
Probably.
the entire range changed when Kazdakar fell. A great cataclysm that shifted mountains. It wasn't.
You
Go ahead.
recall the folk that we met down there that spoke of their leader living in a deep, ancient underground city. That if we went far down enough, we would find. I wonder if they were talking about Kastakar.
It's possible.
What, do you think
What kind of
about
folk
that,
were you
guys?
talking to?
Would you believe me if I said that they were talking rats?
Yes. There are much stranger creatures around here.
Aye, by
Especially
far.
when you slip into other worlds. You know, the one thing I should say, you've all never been towards the lake.
Not I.
No.
No,
Just,
but it's interesting.
Be careful if you decide to cross the ridge of the mountains into the proper bowl. The magic is high there. There are all sorts of things that slip through. In most abundance, these shimmering folk that come out to the lake. It's like you can see them, but you can't.
Like the boar?
No. They're solid. Anyways, when the moon is brightest and in its zenith at night, oftentimes these creatures show up more and more. They'll get you if you're not careful, but they're not organized, or they just kind of pop up and grab you, take you, as the legends go. I've seen a few of them from afar myself. You see them, it's best to leave. There will be more. It's almost like goblins. But goblins, you just stick around and kill the little buggers.
Mystical folk from the Feywild. Abductions.
No, they're no kind of fae. It's something else.
You said they were solid. Has one of them ever been killed?
We have at least tales of destroying them, but we never end up finding bodies after the fact, and they just keep coming and you need to run or you're going to die.
Thanks for the tip.
Again, that's when middle of the night, moon at its zenith. If you catch them during the day, it's not so bad. They're a lot more docile. You can sometimes just walk around them.
Are they squiggly?
Wavy,
Or-
I suppose.
Like, do they look like tendrils?
No, like almost like elves. But have you seen these like a wavy mirror? Like a glass mirror.
Yes?
They look like that.
I-
Anyways, just
Like the
you'll
shadow cast from a fire.
more like literally a wavy mirror.
We'll be keeping an eye out for him.
That's
No
of course if
mistaking.
you cross the ridge. And just do be prepared. Odd things will happen and will be seen if you go into the Bound Mount. Mostly harmless, as long as you don't lash out. But there are many dangers. Anyways, besides that, it's just kind of lay of the land. You'll learn it, or you'll live or die. Of course, there's those damn wizard brothers that are running around these parts, causing mischief. Got us in a bunch of trouble with the elf folk. You must know about that if you did the boar bounty, and Soba gave you the rundown.
Aye.
There's the slavers, but we usually have a pretty good relationship with all parties out here, even the ones the bronze would destroy. What other rumors have you heard, Auntie and then the older dwarf? Something odd I was thinking about with these humans, the ones that live near here. The last 3 months, they've been active. And we heard about one of the towns on the northern tradeway, that road between the ranges the humans have conquered. Apparently one of the settlements along there has had some strange activity from a similar group. They have similar tendencies, garb, activities, and I guess some strange fog billowing from the northern side of that town. I think it was Makoma. Maybe they're connected.
Yeah. Small
Um,
chuckle.
Did anything come of this fog? Any?
I think it's just stirring these humans up. Maybe some weird ritual they're doing. Humans get into some crazy stuff. Their little short lives. Yeah, let's see. There's lots of other things we know about, but you're all familiar with the grand tales, the general lore of these lands the last 3,000 years or so, right?
Well, enough for me. Looks at the rest of the party like, do you want to hear this?
I
Sure.
would be interested to hear it.
Well, it was after Kazdakar fell, but if you travel anywhere near Reverend or grew up near them, I'm sure you've heard the tale of the angel who destroyed the undead and the lich, which Miki and Rune, you definitely heard this tale because it's just like,
Yep.
Here's your Bible, you're in Everend territory, here's our
Oh my
lore.
gosh.
Kind of thing. Everybody heard it in school growing up and all that. Well, some parts of that tale get left out, like the fact there was another kind of humans out here a long time ago that all disappeared. It's like 2,700 years, I think, about 300 years after Kazdakar, just as we're getting our feet back into the ground. Big war, dragons fighting each other, blood raining from the sky. An entire race of humans against an entire race of humans, and only one side came out on top. Some say that the ones who are now dead used to be brothers to the dragons. Brothers and sisters. But that's how these humans are. That's why we need to make sure they don't get their foot in our bound mound, because they're not going to be here long. And I'm assuming you've heard all about that. Well,
Those tales are new to me. I am not from around here.
oh yes,
Typically,
out in the jungle, as they
yes.
called it.
hmm
I've never heard of the details of a jungle, but they say the trees are almost as tall as ours. Just bigger bushes and leaves?
Yeah, very similar.
I did
Much-
ask one Yanti who came through, but she was kind of nasty. Sorry.
I'm not offended.
Ew, no.
It's
What?
a typical response.
What can you tell us about the jungle? Were you a... They're like, oh shit, should we ask?
Just gonna put a hand up. I'm just like,
Nah. Don't go
please.
there. For legal purposes, don't go there.
Okay.
The jungle is as beautiful as it is dangerous, just like here. Everything is much more vibrantly green, and the jungle floor is a much darker place than you would expect. All of the light is captured in the top of the shroud of the jungle, and life is very different at each level.
I think you'll find yourself pretty at home if you cross that zenith and enter the real bound mound. If you can navigate someplace like that, maybe you can even get to the lakeshore.
I'm pretty adept at navigating through many types of wilderness, and it is such skills that have led us here without major incident, even off-road.
It's impressive. But I guess that explains why you're out here in Nova and not over in the jungle. You got here somehow.
Didn't we all?
There's some other rumors around. Brosta heard word of, there's kind of a guild that trades things under the... not in the open, you could say. And apparently they had a very important set of keys stolen, and there's some kind of bounty on that. Brosta drank an entire room's worth of booze that night when she heard. Apparently she had something to do with this organization back in the day. But, you know, besides that, you just got the local tales. Dwarf did something cool over here. Halfling killed a bear by himself, you know, those kinds of things. You never know how much is true. Is there anything else I can help you with, though? I know we've talked quite a lot, and our mugs are dry, and we're out of ribs.
Well
If
said.
If you wouldn't mind me asking, I'm sorry to ask you to dwell on a sensitive subject, but the cataclysm that occurred 3,000 years ago, that claimed Kazakh, what's the common knowledge on the...
I'll go get more drinks and ribs.
On the cause.
The cause? Is it believed to have been natural, or...
No. And just, like, somber, serious, like, just pain on their eyes, even though they weren't there. They say, at least if the annals are true, it was some kind of squiddly monsters that assaulted us. There was a great shake of the world, an earthquake that rumbled the entire city, collapsed many parts of it, and then a swarm of monsters, followed by a swarm of the Brain Eaters.
I'm gonna follow Rune.
Ooh.
They say there was even something else greater and darker that was coming in after that. It seemed like the entire Underdark had had enough with the glory of Kazdakar.
Not Cthulhu.
You know,
I see.
during that time was the greatest height of our people. There are even some, they say, who are about to ascend to maybe godhood. A deity level of status and power, unlike we've had in thousands of years. And just as we were about to grasp such power, it was all taken in the most horrible way, lost for thousands of years, if not forever. We don't even know if there's anything left of our great city, but we can dream and look. Maybe we'll find something, maybe a piece of technology, maybe at least some confirmation of who's gone. Some bodies.
I'm sorry for the scars you still bear from your loss, but your endurance is admirable.
We'll get back to where we were someday.
Yeah.
Hoy.
As a player, I'm out of things that I'm interested in asking. The
Cool.
keys
pretty good.
sound interesting. Keep an eye out for keys.
Yes, that is interesting.
I'm just happy
Might be
about the
connected
dragons.
to her religious order.
So, anything from you, Miki, that you want to ask these two gals?
Nope, I got all my rumors earlier. Talking to old dwarf man.
Cool. So you guys eat some more ribs and drink. Subtract a few gold for paying for that, and then the sun's moving as you guys are talking. It's closer to that kind of dinner time when you guys were going to meet with the halfling. Eventually the gals like get up and get out of here. You get
Let's
word
look over
from
there,
Blava that Brasta wants to meet with you guys first thing in the morning to go over the cart and some other stuff. And please don't leave town without your cart and talking to her. That would suck.
Yeah, and the butcher deal.
Yep.
Yeah. You're really stretch.
And so if you'd like, we can just skip to where you guys are outside of Observy Halfly Boy's place. Sound good?
I'm good with that.
Go for it.
My proposition would be that would be a good spot to end it, but it's just my proposition.
I can agree.
I'd be good with that.
End it right when you're getting there, kind of a thing.
Like, we can resume at the evening at the halfling's place.
Okay. So we will end it here, and we'll pick up with you guys outside of the halfling's door.
Nice.
Cool.
I was gonna say with us walking in the door, but realistically, you should be sprint mechanicking through that door. God damn, that bird's fast as fuck, boy.
Not anymore. That bird's
Dog's
gone.
gone, baby.
No, I assume the bird does this like every other day. He's like, God damn it! Like,
You'll have to find out next time on Bane of the Ancients DnD.
It's like when the cat gets out.
Anyways,
that's pretty good. Hold on, I want to see where this theme song's going.
nope, we're done. I've lost my patience with my computer crashing 5 times, I think, today.
Yeah. Hey, real talk. Big shout out
Upgrades.
to Grant. Grant stuck through every single.
Thanks,
Grant.
Grant.
Grant's a
I
good boy.
appreciate
Happy
you.
birthday, Grant. Tomorrow.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, congrats. So, yeah,
Grant's
thanks
our
for
number one fan.
sticking through all that crap that my computer threw at us. Anyways, so let's do our little outro and do a little post-session parlay, and then we have a hangout tomorrow, but it's not for you people who don't give me Patreon money. Sorry, Grant.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Go to the outro.
I'm kidding. Anyways, hello. This was Bane of the Ancients D&D Session 7, Season 7, Session 13, I think, Part 3 at this point tonight. My brain's fried. And I was Gats, GMing yet again. Hope to see you all next time. There is schedule down in description. Check the googly doc. There's also a cool 3-part short chart coming up with 2 hands GMing. I can't wait to play my Viking mommy, and it's going to be great. So, who was I playing with tonight?
That's a good question. I go by Aludriea Luna. It's been a pleasure. I was playing Rune tonight. Thank you.
I'm Chuck. I was playing Belanos, who is from exactly where he's from.
As it should be.
I am J. Crew. I was playing Miki, and he is drumming and flying and seeing shit.
Yeah, you haven't turned that eyeball off.
Yep, I don't think I know how.
Nope.
And hey, it's me, Two Hands. Two Hands just playing Shaska. Shaska is just Shaska.
Alrighty. Well, I'll see you all next time, where we will pick up and observe from the observatory. Goodbye, stream. Bye, Grant. And